You're watching Golden State Warriors today by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Chase Sr. Hope all of Dub Nation is having a phenomenal weekend. NBA buyout market going to be something interesting to monitor over the next couple of days. Teams have until March 1 to make those decisions. And yes, Golden State comes out of the All-Star break. They're playing really good basketball. But as we've talked about all year long, they could use some reinforcements in that front court. Now, James Wiseman, Draymond Green did return back to practice. They could be well on their way to coming back to the Warriors, but could the Dubs be bringing back a familiar face in Jordan Bell? That's what's being floated out there as a potential possibility. Let's break it down. So Sean Devaney covers the NBA. He was told by an executive that a depressed buyout market, especially in that front court, could open up the door for Bell to land a spot with a team looking to make a late postseason push. I think there has been a lot of disappointment so far in the buyout stuff. There has just not been the kind of guys that could be there that could help you, and the ones who can, they got snatched up really quickly. I think a lot of teams are looking at the buyout market, looking for guys who can fill some of these roles, who can fill in, and because of that, Jordan Bell's name has been talked about as a sought-after big on the free agency market. Now, basically, he wouldn't be an NBA buyout candidate because right now he's not playing with an NBA team. He's actually playing for Team USA in FIBA, which we'll talk about here momentarily. But as we've continued to talk about here on the channel, with or without Draymond Green and James Wiseman, the Dubs have been bereft of size, sometimes athleticism in that front court, especially without the two aforementioned players. So that's why the Warriors could be linked to bringing back Jordan Bell. So I say all of that. I transition and segue to this question for the audience. Should the Dubs re-sign, bring back Jordan Bell? You let me know in the comment section right now. Type S for sign, P for pass. Interested to see where you're all at on this one. As for what Bell did on Thursday night against Puerto Rico, playing with Team USA in FIBA, trying to get to the World Cup in 2023, he did what he did during his Warriors tenure, which is why the Warriors brought him back last year. That's why they were interested in him coming out of Oregon. He's very active, very athletic, and can contribute on both ends of the floor. Stats against Puerto Rico, 8 points, 8 boards, 3 blocks, 3 steals. He's never going to stretch his game out to the three-point arc, but he's going to be active in the passing lanes. He's going to defend and protect the rim, and he's going to be a good athlete who runs up and down the floor. What Bell can bring this team if Bob Myers decides to bring him back for a cheap deal: energy, size, athleticism, and familiarity with the system. He's been with this team when they were competing for NBA championships and winning them, played for the Dubs for 3 years, and was a guy who came in off the bench, especially as a rookie. He was getting some time in some deep playoff appearances, averaged a little less than 4 points per game, 3 boards during his tenure in the Bay, about a block per night, which is pretty good given the minutes that he was getting, and shot around 56.7% from the floor. So we'll see as we get closer and closer to March 1 if the Warriors go after a familiar face. If the Warriors do sign and bring back Jordan Bell, no matter which move they make, even if there's a news or a rumors item out there, we always have you covered right here on the channel. Make sure you hit that red button and subscribe, as we're a little more than 500 people away from 28,000 subscribers. Nobody's doing what we're doing here at Chat Sports and on Warriors Today, so join the Dub Nation family here at Chat Sports. And if you want to rep Dub Nation, you can with this polo, thanks to our friends at Fanatics. Phenomenal deal right now, actually under $40, limited time only. If you go to chatsports.com/Warriors Polo, couple different colors available. The blue here, gray and white. Cop it now, on sale. Chatsports.com/Warriors Polo. I'll put that link in the comment section as well as a description of this video. Now, a little bit earlier, we talked about some reinforcements that could be on their way for the Golden State Warriors in Draymond Green, one of the best defenders that we've seen ever in the NBA, as well as a young stud in James Wiseman. Yesterday, as we record this on Sunday, Draymond returned to practice for the first time since suffering that calf and back injury, has not played since the middle portion of January. James Wiseman, on the other hand, underwent surgery on the meniscus in his right knee, has not played since last April. We're getting close to a year without James Wiseman on the floor, but that could be coming to an end. Draymond was asked about returning to the floor. He was confident, as he always is. Quote, "I was dominating when I got hurt. I plan on coming back and dominating." And Draymond Green was playing very good basketball prior to the injury. A weird injury, too, because it started off as a leg injury, which was tied to the back. We know how the human body works. It's very complex. Everything is basically interconnected. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, as producer Jeremy Jugs tells me. It's kind of true. But Draymond healthy, if the Warriors want to make a run at another NBA championship, if they want to advance deep into the postseason, his health is of the utmost importance. This team is simply not the same squad without Draymond Green as compared to with Draymond Green. I think they went something like 13-9 without him in the lineup. They need him back, especially in the midst of a playoff series, because of how great he is defensively, locking up some premier offensive players. But then conversely, on the offensive end of the floor, he can really be the court orchestrator. He's a phenomenal passer. He's a phenomenal pick-and-roll man, pick and pop. And his ability to really generate offense without having to score is a special blend of skills. And speaking of blend of skills, he was displaying those this year prior to the injury, still good enough to get him into the All-Star game for the 4th time in his career. 8 points nearly, 7.5 rebounds, 7.5 assists, and a steal and a half per game, north of a block per game. We talk about Draymond Green bringing all these attributes to the floor. He is to the Warriors during this run over the last several years, basically what Dennis Rodman was to the Chicago Bulls when Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen were on those teams. Steve Kerr, head coach of the Warriors, as well. So Draymond and Wiseman as some of these front court reinforcements, massive. And Draymond and Wiseman are two of the best players that you can really get at this juncture of the season, because they're so much better than any of the NBA buyout candidates who are going to be available. And that's why on this show we're talking about Jordan Bell as a guy who could return to the Bay Area, because the options there are so thin. Let's hope that the back injury doesn't continue to inhibit or prohibit Draymond Green from playing good ball. Let's hope that James Wiseman, the young fella, can come back and we can see what he can do during the course of a playoff run. Not sure how much Wiseman's going to play, something we'll, of course, continue to talk about and monitor. So if you're pumped to watch Draymond and Wiseman return to the floor, rock that Dubs jersey, get into the comment section and type me. While you're there, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, thanks for making today's show part of your day.